new time capsule is going to go here where the 25th was. It'll be a little bit bigger, and we would like to put in material from the 25th, certainly the plaque from the 35th, and then also some of the stuff that Jen and Cam put together for this year. So I would like to introduce Cam Allen, who is going to lead this. I guess it's a ceremony.
Welcome back, everybody, and in a moment we'll be looking at the contents of the time capsule, and then we'll be displaying them in behind here for anybody who wishes to take a look. I think when they were trying to decide who might do this job, they looked for the oldest relic they could find, and so I was nominated to take this job on. I'd like to just recognize the chairperson of the 25th reunion, Mark. If you would stand up or wave. Mark Scott is here. She ran a very successful 25th reunion, and really the lessons learned there enabled us to have a successful 35th, and now we hope a successful 50th. So without further ado, I'm just going to simply walk over there, act a little surprised because I'm not exactly sure what's in there, tell you what it is, and then my assistant will be displaying them on the tables. When I'm finished with the 25th, and I will show you what remains of the 35th, and we can display what there is, Jen Madge will be explaining or just inviting people. Okay. Jen is a former student who's taken on a very big role in this reunion, and one of those roles is to create things today for the 50th reunion. That will be open, who knows when, 60th, 75th? I don't know, and I'm not sure enough to hear one. Not for sale reunion poster. The artwork here, was that designed by Monty Wright, art teacher, or did he do it for the 35th? Anyway, we had students or staff design some of the logos. We had, over the years, sometimes contests among students, and this is the 25th reunion poster. There are available in the double gym old yearbooks for sale for like $1 or $2, and there are also, I think, being given away freely a program that was put together for the 25th reunion, and it will have this, I believe, on the cover of it. So if you want to take advantage of that, item number 1, mobile assistant. Say to your kids, or your kids can say, what the heck is that thing? What the heck is a CD? I've got everything on my iPod. Anyway, we have in here Memories of Southwood 72 to 87 and Memories of Southwood 62 to 71, and in brackets the history of rock and roll. So for a lot of us, there's probably some really good stuff in here where you can understand the words that were being sung. And I will make no further comment on modern music. Well, these are minutes, I guess we can mark. A financial statement, and I think you hold the school support. You're free to look at these, by the way. This contains reunion tickets. Obviously, Ted Carlton's little ID badge. You notice we've spared no expense this year. Stickers. Second mailing. Very interesting, having worked on all 3 of them, to find the extreme difference in this one and the last 2. The last 2 required extensive mailing to people before they had email addresses. And now we communicated almost exclusively through email, a website, and it totally changed the landscape in terms of how we were able to contact people. So I hope, if you're still interested in future get-togethers, that you've taken advantage of the opportunity to leave us your email. I know people change their email as most frequently as they change their underwear, but people change a lot. If you could keep that updated and keep looking at the site. We're going to keep that site, if you are among the people who used it, Southwood's 50th myevent.com. We're going to keep that active for 1 year following the reunion, in the hope that people will use it as a means to stay in touch with their friends and with the school. If they do, we will renew it, and if it's not used, we will discontinue. It will be there, however, for 1 year. The people who are doing the Hall of Fame, if I'm going too long, just tell me, shut up. There's a mailing list. Picture Bingaman Park where we all went. Large crowd. I mean, how many people were at Bingaman Park for the 25th? All right. How many people for the 35th? Good. Lots of old people in here. I like it. 25th reunion. I thought it said cremation. It says confirmation. I won't open all of these. Some of these are tickets and memorabilia, so they are in the folder called Buttons and Tickets, which my highly trained assistant is now going to take. And the other ones, you're welcome to look at all of this, by the way. There we go. The next folder is a bunch of thank you letters. I won't read those two, but they are thank yous on behalf of the people who did work here on the reunion and are thanking people in the community who supported it. A list of registrants. Now you might find your name, former address on here because this thing is several pages thick. It will be everybody who registered for number 25 in 1987. This is a 1962 car. Oh, there's a picture. And anybody here drive that thing? Yours?
I wish.
It's behind you. So that was taken probably in 87 because it's behind the bleachers, which...
That was the one that was raffled.
That's the one that was raffled. You are right. Good memory.
That's the first time I heard that.
But you had I hate to tell you it's going to be the last. That's a copy of a yearbook, looks like the group's reunion yearbook. The reunion newspaper, which was on here, picture of all the students in the school forming SSS 25. The one that's done this time celebrates 3 reunions, is on sale for a toonie. And it's really a spectacular production, coordinated by Dave Maneri and Irene Denny Schmidt, if I said that name correct. And they did a great job. If you want some memories and some really touching stories by people about some of the staff members who have passed away. If you knew Jerry Weaver very well, or people like that. That was a much-loved teacher, and there's a wonderful tribute to him. Also a tribute to a younger teacher who passed away, Tim Walker. And it's just a really good paper, so if you get a chance to buy it for $2, do so. Letterhead and envelopes. Well, you kept a lot better notes than I did when I ran into it. This is the actual yearbook, which we have several of. You can pick them up. I think they're being given away. There's a lot of extra things discovered in the school when we began to organize for this. No bodies, but lots of extra stuff. And this is local newspaper coverage. This says Cambridge Times. It's probably something from the Cambridge Reporter, because the newspapers have always helped us out a lot in terms of publicity, as they did this time. And smaller versions of programs. A little bit more here to go on the 25th. I imagine it is a banner for the 25th, and if we get it not upside down, maybe Stuart and I can pull that up for you to see. He's the principal. I just be patient with him. Okay, so that's the banner from number 25. We have banners from all of the reunions. I'm not sure if we have all the old ones, but a lot of banners hopefully you've seen all over town. And there's some on the side of the school, one of our ways of publicizing things. More reunion programs. A list of yearbook orders. If you want to look through some of this stuff and find your name from years ago, your name, address, and stuff might be in there if you're interested in doing that. Something secret in here. Oh, a stamp. Doesn't work.
The link on that camera.
No, the ink dried up in the last 25 years. That was just a stamp we used for stamping checks, I guess, Mark. That was part of the fun, wasn't it, getting checks? Knowing we could pay for it. Pictures from the opening ceremonies. Might need you again, Stuart. This looks like another challenge for the principal of the school. Just a different banner that we must have displayed at some point. Just turn around and read that. So that will also be on the paper. You might be in here too. Guest book. Everybody signed. This is where people will sign in now. That will be on display from all those who attended the 25th. Some of those are original photos. It says to Mark Scott original photos, so I don't know what's in here. Nothing. A supply book with, oh crap, that's my ring. Mark. This is just a list of all the meetings that were held. We started for this one 2.5 years ago. And a lot of work goes into it. Brian Riddell, where are you? Just raise your hand. I said this earlier about Glenn Waslick doing the staff breakfast, which we held this morning. A lot of people work on things, but without the influence, incredible energy and drive of one person, it doesn't get done. Raise your hand again, Brian, because you're that person. 25 years ago, I might have attempted to impress you by blowing up this balloon, but I don't want to turn blue in the face before the balloon turns red, so this is a reunion balloon. And that is the 25th. I'll just get a small sample of what we got. Big sealed airtight. Paul Paquette, who went to incredible work. I think you actually created a newspaper from the school, didn't you, Paul? The Southwood Chronicle?
That's right,
which
yeah.
chronicled all events in the school, and when we opened this up, we were very saddened to see it. Now, you can still read some of it, and we intend to preserve it as best we can. So that is the end of my part of the ceremony. Thank you for bearing with me.
Barb Wilson, and I'm a teacher here at Southwood, and I'd like to welcome you to this great ceremony here today. We started the Hall of Fame in 2005 to honor the achievements of grads who've gone on to great accomplishments in many different fields. Past inductees include Juno Award winners, Olympic athletes, research scientists, artists, leaders in business, and even an NHL hockey player. Today we are very pleased to have our two new inductees with us, Sandra Hardy and Fred Klinkhammer, and they'll be joining us in this celebration. I'd like to start by calling on our principal, Stuart Ross, to say a few words.
Thanks, Barb. I also want to take this opportunity to welcome all our visitors to this ceremony. I have had the opportunity to participate in ceremonies like this now this will be my third school in Cambridge actually, where they have Hall of Fames. And it really is a great chance for the school to recognize the achievements of our alumni. And I've always found, looking at the three different schools that I've been principal at, that regardless of the age of the school, regardless of the size of the school, there are some incredible things that happen as our graduates move on from here off into, I guess, the real world, we seem to call it. Now this year, being our 50th anniversary, it certainly heightens the awareness of who has been here and who has moved on and who has returned to celebrate with us. And I'm excited today to have had a chance to meet and have brief conversations with our two inductees, Fred Klinkhammer, and it's a class of 67, and Sandra Hardy from 76. And the one really nice thing for me as principal, you get to meet these really great people who you didn't teach because they were here before you, but you get to find out so much about them and almost live vicariously through some of the achievements and some of the things that they have done over their years. Sandra was talking about having the opportunity to live all over the country in a variety of different places, and that's something that certainly I would like to be able to do. And Fred, we've had a chance to share a little bit about Bermuda, as I was fortunate enough to spend 3 years there as well, and he and his wife are now living there. So congratulations to our 2 new inductees, and again to everyone here, welcome and thank you for coming.
Sandra Hardy is Executive Vice President, General Counsel, and Corporate Secretary of the Cadillac Fairview Corporation Limited. Cadillac Fairview owns and manages over 85 properties, including some of Canada's landmark developments such as Toronto Eaton Centre, Toronto Dominion Centre, and the Pacific Centre in Vancouver. Ms. Hardy oversees the provision of legal services for the company. As a member of the Executive Committee, Ms. Hardy develops and drives the corporate strategy. She provides oversight to the corporate charitable donations program and provides legal advice and direction to all departments within the company. She is also responsible for corporate communications and media relations. Prior to joining Cadillac Fairview, Ms. Hardy worked as Vice President, Legal for Bromley Centres Limited, a subsidiary of Bromley Incorporated. She was responsible for legal services and advice relating to operations, leasing, and development functions for the company, considered to be one of the top 3 shopping centres companies in Canada. She advised on asset dispositions of over 10 million square feet and managed the legal department responsible for annual leasing activity over 1 million square feet. From 1986 to 1993, Ms. Hardy worked for the Trizec Corporation, Tri-Lease Centres Incorporated, which is one of the North America's largest public real estate corporations. As Associate Counsel, she co-managed the legal department for the shopping center portfolio. From 1983 to 1986, Ms. Hardy worked at the General Corporate and Commercial Law Practice, Miller, Johnson & Maxwell, barristers and solicitors in Calgary, Alberta. Ms. Hardy graduated from Southwood Secondary School in 1976 and from Carleton University with a BA in Political Science in 1979. She obtained her Bachelor of Laws LLB from the University of Victoria in 1983 and is a 2010 Director Education Program graduate from the Rotman School of Management, University of Toronto Institute of Corporate Directors. She lives in Aurora, Ontario with her husband Jim and 2 daughters. Ms. Hardy, if you'd like to come up and
Thank you very much. Some of you will remember me as Sandy Wilson, because that's who I was when I graduated. So it was funny because when I saw the thing in the paper, I thought, I wonder how many people actually know who I am based on that. But this really is a great honor, and I was very, very surprised to have been nominated and thrilled to have received the recognition. This was a fantastic high school. I can't say enough about it. I mean, I was very proud to come here and very proud to graduate. And I think that the experience that a student gets through high school really shapes them. And when I think of my years at Southwood, it was the academic program that really gave me a good grasp for my post-secondary school education. In addition to that, just being here was just so much fun in terms of the sports program, the music program, the clubs, the innovation of the teaching staff was really second to none. Great friends, great group of, a great sense of community and school spirit. I'm thrilled to see the spirit wear out there because that was really impressive. And it just made it such a great experience. Our bar asked me to think about, who are the teachers that really impacted you? And I think, every student has teachers that impact them good or bad. So they really connect with. And I had absolutely no shortage of those, the least of which was, of course, Ross McKinnis. But it's really the whole group of them that impacts you because it's such a transformational period in a student's life. And if you think of there are those teachers who just bring everything alive, who just love being in their classroom. They're the ones that you think are mean, give you too much work, and there are those that you just have to work a lot harder with to really get the best out of the material. And it's the whole of that experience, together with the peers, your friends, the clubs you join, your involvement in the community, that really shapes you. So I was lucky. I worked hard, and I've been very lucky and very fortunate in my career, and this is pretty hard. Thank you.
Congratulations. I'd now like to call upon Justin Berkey. He's an academic achiever who will be attending the business program at Laurier next year. He will introduce our second inductee, Fred Cunningham.
Fred Klinkhammer's influence in Canadian and international media organizations has been far-reaching and impressive. He has a significant track record as a leader of companies facing startup or turnaround challenges. Over the past 40 years, Fred has served as Vice President and General Manager of Toronto-based City TV and President and CEO of First Choice, the movie network. He has also been President and CEO of CableNet, a Canadian-American multi-system cable operator, and President and CEO of IMAX Corporation. In addition, he created and then became CEO of MediaLinks, the multimedia arm of Belkinet Enterprises, where he led the team that created Simpatico, the largest internet service provider in Canada. In 1997, Fred joined Central European Media Enterprises, a Bermuda-based media company that owns broadcast, content, and new media operations in Central and Eastern Europe. CME began as a single channel in the Czech Republic in 1994 and has grown to be the broadcast leader in 6 countries, reaching over 50 million people. Fred served as President and CEO of CME from 1999 to 2004 and as Vice Chairman from 2004 to 2006. Fred's contributions to the television industry were recognized in 1989 with the Canadian Film and Television Production Association's Gold Personal Achievement Award. He was a founding member of the Canadian Journalism Association and a director of the Russia-Canada Trade Council. From 2008 to 2010, Fred served as chairman of the board of World of Residency, a luxury condo cruise liner, and has been chairman of Clam Harbor Holdings since 2004, a private investment company. Mr. Klinkhammer graduated from Southwood Secondary School in 1965 and from Ryerson in Business Administration in 1968. He is a certified management accountant. And I would like to call upon Fred Klinkhammer to come up and
very much for those words, Justin. And thank all of you who in some way may have participated in this selection process. Not many of you in the room are old enough to know that I was a student here of sorts. In fact, I was a rather poor student both academically and behaviorally. I look back on those times as formative in that it was a little bit like the crucible in which the seed corn is growing that leads to who you are today. Early on in my time at Southwood, a teacher by the name of Miss Harder definitively proved to everyone that I had absolutely no facility for languages. That meant that I wouldn't graduate unless I could find a non-language credit. If she had not intervened and done that, I probably would not have graduated. I have to confess that I am the person that was responsible for the incident in one of the chemistry labs that I'm told is still talked about today. And I'd like to thank Mr. Irving, who was one of the great teachers here at the time, because he knew that it was me. And he concocted a cover story that suggested it was spontaneous combustion. And it was only on graduation day that he came up to me and he said, I knew. If he hadn't looked the other way, I probably wouldn't have graduated. There were 2 other men. One that I only knew at the time as the Chopper. His name was Mr. McConnell. I had to go and look it up in the yearbook. Mr. McConnell was principally responsible for discipline. He was the vice principal of the school, and he held a view that anyone could be motivated if there was enough energy applied by someone like him. And he shaped me. I think it was this side of my head. But I would never have graduated if it wasn't for Jim Jack. Jim Jack was the principal at the time, And if those of you that have picked up one of those newspapers, he talks about hard work. And he taught me that hard work can overcome any obstacle. What no teacher knew at the time, and what I didn't know at the time, was that I have a learning disability. I was 40 years old before I found out what it was. That doesn't make up for my bad behavior, but it does explain some of the challenges that I had as a student. The remarkable thing is, with no facility for languages, the last company that I ran made 5,000 hours of television a year, none of it in English. None of it in English. I was asked to try and be, I don't think the term was profound, but to leave some kernel of learning. So I've had 50 years of learning since I left school. Here's a couple of thoughts. To paraphrase Jim Jack, find something you love and work really, really hard at it. Really hard. Because that's what he did. And he was right. Second is, nobody likes a smart ass. Watch your mouth. And that applies equally to students and teachers. There's one teacher I remember who had such a mouth, and I won't mention his name. But I would like the opportunity of meeting him as an adult. And finally, I'll leave you with this one clear, concise thought. Each of us is the center of a circle. The circumference of that circle is determined by our own self-imposed limitations. Think about it, live by it. Anybody can be successful if they forget about their self-imposed limitations. Thank you for inviting me today. Thank you for this. And thank all of the teachers that I had that managed to permit me to scrape through a very, very difficult time. I will say that since then I have lectured at Harvard.
Wonderful ambassadors, so we're very proud of all of you. We're glad that you both make it to the ceremony. I'd like to take this opportunity to publicly thank the people that have helped put this together. Martin and Justin for giving out the part of the weekend. Committee members Marlene Bennett and Karen Johannes. The life skills class, which provided us with refreshments, which we'll see very soon. Rob Baird, his assistants with the class in the front hall. And finally, Kevin Wyman and his graphic arts students, Amanda Mulder, Danielle Root, Jacob Cresswell, and Lauren Hanford for their help with the class as well. So thank you all for coming, and please stay tuned.